What's up, you guys are tuned in to another episode of Beam Culture, a show here on 104.3 FM, where we like to shine light on the Rochester talent and, really just talk about everything that's going on in the local art scene, whether that be music, whether it be fashion. I know we had a up-and-coming clothing brand on here on the last episode, and we even dabble into entrepreneurship a bit. I'm your host, Jacari Griffin, founder of BeamHouse Nation, and I have a very special guest that I am interviewing today. I'm super excited for you guys to get to know her a bit, hear her music, hear her story, and get to know the collective that she's a part of as well. She's an artist that I've had the pleasure of working with in the past on a Beamfest show that we did at Montage probably like a year ago. So, without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself to you guys and go from there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dominance Dubai. Thank you so much again for having me here.
Of course. So first off, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm really excited about this, and I'm just so blessed to have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's always... I see it as a privilege that I get to interview people. Mm-hmm. I think I learn a lot from I get to pick people's brains a bit and kind of just learn more as I interview people. So it's always cool.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how other people's minds work, and just sparking up conversations.
Yeah. So in your own words, how would you describe what it is that you do?
So I'm a singer-songwriter here based in Rochester, New York. I was born and raised here. I do R&B, neo-soul. I've been singing for basically all my life, so it's hard to put a genre or anything specific, or label myself as that, but just a singer-songwriter. Well, not just, but a singer-songwriter, yes.
And are you from Rochester, or were you born in Rochester?
Yes, born and raised.
Awesome.
Yes, this is my city. Shout out to ROC.
So how has it been, on your journey so far, being a singer, a songwriter in the Rochester area? Honestly,
I feel like we're completely surrounded by art here. Just even walking down the street, the murals on the side of buildings. Yeah. It's almost like seeing like a jazz cartoon where when you're walking down the street, you see all the music going on in the windows and people walking by. We're very musically inclined, or artsy fartsy, if you will.
Definitely, I definitely agree. I think it's something I started kind of like really tapping into a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm from Rochester as well. But to really go into the town and go to a cafe and literally see the art on the walls and hey, this painting is of that guy over there that comes here every day. It's just the cool stuff that the arts community.
Yeah, right over there next to George Eastman School of Music, like Ludwig's, and I forget the other cafe that's there. I forget. But, just walking down there and even around here and smack dab in the middle of downtown there's always something going on. And there's always an opportunity, if you will, just sparking up conversations and community. And I think that's another thing. Even just you here today bringing me here, and again, thank you. It's something as simple as that, networking. And I know so many great local artists here, and I have been blessed to know them and grow up with them. And it's kind of funny, even just in elementary school, growing up with my classmates now and seeing where we stemmed off to and how we express ourselves.
What age did you recognize that you had a gift and that you wanted to pursue music? And then what age did you actually get around to pursuing it?
Yeah. So, I feel like anybody else just singing growing up, I was filled with music, and it's really my upbringing, my family, and my schooling that has a lot to do with, who I am today and the opportunities that they gave me. And my mother saw that I was, that I wanted to branch out, that I was a very outspoken child. I wasn't shy or timid. I gave into like the choir, and she took me to my first ever choir audition and sung You Are My Sunshine, and it was that from there, and always getting into choirs. And even in school, I remember around fifth or sixth grade at 46 school, my principal, Miss Sheridan Deli, she took a liking to me, I would say, and I would audition for solos in the choir, and a lot of the teachers supported me, and she noticed that. And her daughter is actually Sue Catronio. She is an opera singer, born and raised here, Rochester, New York. I was leaving sixth grade, and they wanted me to still have that because I didn't actually get accepted into School of the Arts the first time. So they wanted me to not give up on that. So she took me to the George Eastman Lyric Theater Opera Choir, say that 3 times fast, but to the choir audition, and I was actually too old at the time as far as like the age. They changed it for me to be able to be in the opera. They said, you know what, we'll put up a year so you can at least spend a year here. Yeah. And they had Miss Deli took her checkbook out and she paid for my dress. That was a $500 opera dress. It was insane. Like, that was the moment. I remember it was at Oak Hill Country Club. I was sitting there, and mind you, I'm going into this building. It's all full of wood. You can smell it. It smells so beautiful. And like these beautiful rooms and grand pianos in each room. Like, I couldn't believe that I was there. And I was like, hey, I may be pretty good if my principal, and it's so crazy. She called my mother, and, my mom gave the permission, and there it was. I was singing at Blue Cross Arena with the Philharmonic. I was singing at Hochstein School of Music. I was singing at the George Eastman House. There was like this ceremony that they were doing, and I had never seen like those people with the silver plates with the champagne on it walking around. I was like, you know what? This is kind of a big deal, and just being around all these great people and these great vocalists, and hearing her trips about going to Europe just because of her voice. And I knew that this is what, God has chosen for me. This is what I need to do. It's in my blood. My real name is Dominique Star Perez. And, my mom said that when I was born, she knew I was going to be a star. And I know that sounds like just a thing that moms say, but I take that to heart. I really do. Who would have thought that I would have grown up and became a singer? And after that, it was history. Like, I attended Franklin for a couple years, and within that time, I went into an after-school program called The Cypher, and that was a way for me to become my own artist. I had been singing, opera and classical music and, by the book type of stuff for so long. Now it was time for me to use my voice, and I was writing little songs since I was like 6, like Boy with the Brown Eyes, like little stuff like that, but it's grown up with me. And at that time, 14, 15 years old, I'm writing songs, I'm recording them in the studio. Like, I have songs older than my 2 kids, shout out to my babies, God bless them. But, I have songs older than my kids, and it was something that I was very proud of, and that's where I came up with the name Dominance. Dubai came a little bit later. There was a rapper named Chinks, and just won a trip to Dubai, and that's where Dominance Dubai came from. I wanted like a Marilyn Monroe, a Dorothy Dandridge type of thing. So yeah, and after that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try for School of the Arts again. I auditioned again. Mr. Gabriel, you actually come in with a CD. He knew I was gonna sing At Last by Etta James. He said, oh, well, let me play it on the piano for you. And mind you, the rumors were that Mr. Gabriel was a big deal, so I got so nervous, and there I was singing At Last with, a very polished musician, teacher. So when that happened, I didn't get a letter back, saying that I had got accepted. And I felt defeated yet again. I was like, how can I be in the opera and how can I be writing songs and making all this music and nothing's coming of it? Why can't a school like see that from me, And the principal ended up calling my mother and saying, hey, you didn't get back to us and let us know if Dominique was going to be attending School of the Arts. And she was like, well, we didn't get a paper. He was like, let me change my tone. Well, congratulations, your daughter has been accepted to School of the Arts. And I had found out like 2 weeks before school had started. So it was like right into orientation, buying the School of the Arts sweatpants. And, it felt so good. I'm making my own music. I'm also feeding into, working on my vocals and working on my craft because your voice is a muscle. You have to train it every day, and being able to do that, and it's been like that ever since. And just about 2 years ago, Mr. Gabriel yet again, he fed into my art. He gave me a Mac laptop, and I've recorded majority of my music on it, and I've been putting it out that way, putting it out on YouTube and Apple Music and stuff like that, and trying to get my voice heard because, being a single mother of two, it's expensive. I don't have all the money in the world. I'm trying, I'm a starving artist, literally, so I'm trying to make things work. So just feeding into that, because I'm not the best, but as long as you hear what I'm saying. And even in school, he saw that I like to write my own music. I wrote a song for the choir to sing. At 15 years old, this teacher saw me. Yet again, it has a lot to do with my family and my schooling. My teacher saw that I had some talent and that they should utilize it and that they should feed into it. And I'm so gracious to have the opportunities, and writing a song for a choir. That was another moment where it was like, Eureka, that was another moment where I was like, I may actually be pretty good. I may actually have this thing down packed. Like if my teachers, my family, if I'm, my first paid performance, I was like 11 years old for a wedding, So it's like, if all these people are noticing it, this has to be bigger than me. There has to be a purpose. There's a purpose in life, and this is mine. And my music is everything to me. Oblivion is inevitable. That comes from The Fault in Our Stars. It's a book. But she says that, one day, like Mozart and Van Gogh, that's going to be gone. But I want my music to touch people now. I want my music to reach somebody, like I was a little girl sitting in front of my radio singing songs, and now I get to be blessed to be on the radio and have my songs on the radio and doing things like that. I want a girl to sit down and listen to that, a woman to sit down and listen to, my music's for everybody, but I'm saying like I want to feed into who I was and why it brought me here too. People like me, So just being able to share that and being bare and being raw and being, showing the emotional side that we don't really talk about, singing my insecurities and, in hopes that somebody else doesn't feel alone. The music has to be worth it. I want when people listen to it to be like, you know what, like maybe like a memory or making a memory to it. One of my songs, Do You, is actually in a movie called Pure Finesse on Tubi. And that was amazing for me, but I wanted people to with that song, it was really raw. Like I don't like to talk about, when you are like submissive or submit, like there's a line in it where it says like, got me in the kitchen cooking bacon and eggs. I swear I must be sick in the head. But every time I sing that song, I hear these women cackling, funny because it's true. Like I must be like, girl, I feel you. He had me cooking eggs and bacon and all that, So having my music relate to other people and, for people to see themselves in me, and I think that that's really important, community, with the art that we do. And that's why I think that it's so important here in Rochester that we take a moment and we look around because we're so filled with it. Like it's if you see it and it's right in your face, it's hard to take a deep look at it. It's just so beautiful to see all the creatives here in Rochester, and I'm just great to be a part of it. Sorry, that was a lot, but
yeah. Nah, you're fine. You're fine. I was gonna say, you talked about, just being vulnerable in your music.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that's easy for you, or does that take a bit of just like getting comfortable for you to open up enough to kind of show that those insecurities through your music?
I think it's like a unspoken rule kind of thing. Like I don't really express myself like on a day-to-day, life, like how I am just living. And my music is a way for me to express that, for me to get that out.
So would you say that, in like getting those things out, and, whether it's just like the medium that you choose to articulate, those things, what specifically, like if there was one message that you could hope that people take away from it, women particularly, what message would you like to really make sure that people take away from your music?
I'll just use like an example. When I'm out with my girls, we tend to, a girls' night out, we talk about all our feelings and all of our emotions, and then we get right back to it. I think that even Beyonce gives herself a day to feel those feelings. I would say that there's certain things that we tend to ignore that we shouldn't, and maybe taking a moment to think about that. Because it's even hard for me to listen to certain songs about feelings that I feel, because it's like, oh, I don't want to feel that way. Like, ew, like I'm like one of those with emotions and like I don't want to deal with that, But I just hope that when they listen to my music, it could give them some sort of peace, and maybe I'm saying the unsaid thing, and maybe taking a moment to think about that and live in it. Like, feel those feelings demand to be felt. Just feel them for a little bit,
So is there anything that you have coming up, that you want to, share with us? Maybe something that you've done already this year that
Yes.
you're like super proud of?
Yes, I would love to. Yes. So I just released my first music video, Rose Red, which we're gonna listen to today. I just put that out. That's actually been my baby for quite some time. I released it last year in October. And it took me a while, but I got the visuals for that. So the music video on YouTube. I've also been releasing, features. I have Lemon Squeeze and as well as Wander. You can find those on like YouTube and Apple Music. Really, all my social medias I go by the same name. And like I said before, like with the movie Pure Finesse on Tubi. I've also came out with my own logo, so I'm creating merch, and also with my rap group, Bread World Mafia, God Mafia. We have merch coming out. We're worked on a label. I'm really proud of my label, of my logo, if you will. It's actually a picture of The Kiss by Gustav Klimt, but instead of, the woman and the man, it's me and my past significant other. But yeah, R.I.P. to him, Jake One Huff. But yeah, I wanted to pay homage to him as well, because he really encouraged me to do my music. I met him when I was 15 years old. He's my son's father. But yes, he encouraged me a lot, and he was really like my backbone. And I I pay homage when I'm performing. I have the crowd sometimes say his name 3 times because they say you pass twice. You pass when you initially pass, and you pass when people stop saying your name. So I try to let his name ring as much as possible. So I'm really proud of that logo. It's one of my favorite pictures in the whole wide world, and it's also, homage, and it has me on it. Who wouldn't love that? But yeah, I've been putting out a lot of my own music. And also with my rap group, it's so overwhelming. Like it's back to back to back, like it's really just me being more consistent that I'm proud of, because I feel like with your personal life, you start to lose track of yourself too,
Yeah.
and taking care of everything else. It's hard to feed into what you love, So making sure that I quench that thirst, and make as much music as possible, sitting down and really taking that time with myself, because like I said, it's hard for me to be vulnerable, and that's really the purpose of my music. So I'm just incredibly proud of that. And I'm also going to be releasing Glass House one more time, May 3rd, and I just filmed the music video for it last night, so I'm excited. That's going to be my second music video, so I'm just really proud for how much I'm shining and how much I'm glowing and finding myself again, because for a while I wasn't working on music and taking that time off, and but it's okay now, like I don't have to worry about so many things that I had to worry about before. And my children are getting older now, and that has something to do with it. I try to do it as much as possible when they're in school and when they go to bed, and that's really where I create most of this stuff. And that's another thing, is that when I put it in my music, like I'm just proud of that. Like those are nights staying up until 11 o'clock, missing my shows, missing my stories, or not going to like a certain event if it's not about the music. If I'm not doing an open mic, I want to stay. I'm really a homebody. I want to stay home as much as possible and create more things. There's nothing more satisfying than sitting there and creating harmonies and hearing yourself back and mixing it and then playing it on the speaker and like hearing that sound. I'm just so proud of that, because for a while, because I would say about these past 3 years, I've been more consistent, and it just has a lot to do with me having more time management, and plus, like I said, my kids are getting older, and that helps out a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just want to first off say, congratulations on, making it through everything that you've made it through, and, being able to give yourself those flowers and kind of see the growth and transition into where you are right now. That's a big deal. It's not a small deal. So and I also wanted to ask you, what was kind of the inspiration behind Rose Red?
It's about a man and his dog. No, I'm kidding. No, seriously though. But no, Rose Red. So I, like many of us, like the breakups, or I wouldn't even call it a breakup. I feel like with this generation, we look at, situationships, so it was kind of that type of thing. I broke off a situationship, and that's the funny thing about it, is that you can make music from things like that. You can make music from like a heartbreak and something that you feel. And at first the chorus actually used to, and it like grew up over time, because it initially was, and he's mine. And then after whatever, I changed it to he's not mine. So it's almost like like a forget you type of thing, like watch me glow type of thing. And yeah, that it's me being vulnerable, but also like dancing through the pain. We hold trauma in our hips, so like dancing it out. Like I want to. I'm singing beautiful words, but not in a beautiful place. That's a quote that I got from my videographer Timothy 305 Unleashed. He's the one who's been doing my music videos. But like that, you know, taking something that hurt me so bad and then making something out of it, something simple, because, you know, I really just repeat myself twice, but it's liberating. So that's really what inspired that liberation.
Well, I'm super excited for the audience listening to get this, you know, debut of it. So this is Rose Red.
Thank you.
So once again, you guys just heard Rose Red. I have the artist here in the booth. How does it feel to hear your vocals on the radio?
It's really like a surreal feeling. Like I'm not used to it at all, and it's like I was saying earlier. You know, that little girl that was by a radio and then being on the radio now. It's truly a blessing.
So we have 2 more guests that just joined us during the commercial break. I guess I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. And
what's up? It's the G.O.D. up in the building, man.
That's right.
Yo, it's your boy Groovy from the Chest, man. If you don't know, now you know.
All right.
So you guys are a rap collective and label, correct?
Yeah.
So for the people listening at home that might not know, what's the name of the record label?
G.O.D. Mafia Entertainment. If you don't know, now you know.
So tell me a bit about, you know, what brought the collective together. How did you guys meet and so on?
All right, man. This was how we brought the collective together, right? So this is how it started. I started off in a group called NWEBG, which contained like Nas, Santana. Then you got Keizo the Great, New Era. Who else?
Ronnie 2 times.
Yeah, Ronnie 2 times, and more artists, you know. Then I ended up branching off from the team and made my own team because it was like, you know, no new people in the group. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make my own.
Yeah.
So, you know, I done bought the people that I met back in the prime that Nas introduced me into. And I met Groovy. I met him at Marshall. So I've been knew about Groovy. He was like a battle rap, you know. He was doing that, you know. So I asked him, do he want to be a part of the group, him and Meech. Then my cousin Cassio, shout out to Cassio Jigs. He came from Brooklyn down here, and I ain't know he rapped until he told me. And I was like, you know what, let's do a song together. So we ended up doing a song called Water. So after we did that song, I asked him, I'm like, yo, you trying to be part of the group? He was like, man, it's whatever. So that's how we ended up becoming G.O.D. Mafia. Then, like, I say, like, years later down the line, we came to 331. Shout out to my boy Sean, you know. We met Dominus, Dubai, you know, at this open mic. So we was like, yeah, she fire. We heard her sing and all that. She sung that Rose Red. I'm like, oh, yeah. She fired. We need her on our team. So she ended up hitting me up on IG. Then we was like, we need a female a part of our group, a female singer. And she was that. So she became the first lady of G.O.D. Mafia, you know. And that's how we came about.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have been working on as a collective.
Yeah, right now we were still working on some stuff, you know, but we done did some videos. We working on some new music that's about to drop soon, like brand new. Don't blow my high. That's it.
Yes.
Don't blow my high. Me and Dom doing another song called Psycho. Mm-hmm. That's something that's still in the works. Basically, that's all we doing, like networking. We just came from Connecticut not too long ago.
Fire.
Did like a whole performance, killed it, networked with people outside the city, you know, doing our own thing.
How was the difference between, like, obviously you guys know what it's like performing for a Rochester crowd. Did you guys notice a difference in, like, just the energy performing for a crowd outside of Rochester?
Considering it was an event that I was a part of, as bro said, I'm into battle rap. It was a battle rap event, and We had performances there. I knew they were going to feel a little out of place because it's more of like a grimy energy that's in the room. It's not something that you could just be like, okay, well, everybody going to kill their performances. Everybody just going to snap. You have to have a certain presence in that room. So I knew everybody was going to be off just a little bit, but they all handled it. So to see how, especially Dom, the way she blew the room out, for me, like, that was crazy. The vocals, the live vocals on top of that.
She the next Erykah Badu.
You feel me? Like,
she the next Erykah Badu.
I was not expecting people, I wasn't expecting the bros to get so comfortable. They handled it very well. So I'm proud of the guys, always, man. Always.
That's a whole fact.
So coming from like, you know, the battle rap scene to now, you know, putting those raps on record and, you know, making songs, you know, how does, you know, coming from a battle rap background kind of help you when it comes to just, you know, putting your thoughts on just on the record?
I mean, to be completely honest, I started with music first. I come from a singing background with the fam and everything. My grandmother and my great-grandmother were background singers. One was one for Diana Ross. So I already have that, like, you know, embedded in me. Starting with the music, I thought I would jump into battle rap because of the aggressive persona, aggressive personality, how I am as a person. I thought that would work there. But once I jumped in, I was like, I don't have any music to promote. I need to get back to my music. That's what matters, because you can't be into something saying, oh, I'm an artist, and you have nothing to show for it. So being able to balance between the two, it's a little difficult because sometimes you don't know how to get out of that mind frame of, okay, punchline, setup, metaphor, punchline, setup, metaphor versus actually telling a story. Now that I know the difference between the two, makes my music very well. I just don't drop as often.
Yeah, I've been telling this man to start dropping music. He been playing games. That's the main thing, you know. Dom, she been dropping songs, you know. She got more songs on the way. She dropped the video. I'm proud of her. She been doing her thing, you know. But this guy,
Hey.
Not too much.
No fun.
I ain't gonna hold. He dropped Strangers, bro. That junk was fire.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Awesome.
I gotta make a clean version for him to play on the radio.
Coming soon.
Yeah, it's coming soon, but.
Well, if anyone at home listening would like to just check it out on their own time, where can they find it? What should they search up?
You can search up Groovy FTC. FTC stands for From the Chest. You can type it out, or you could just put FTC. And I am on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud. I'm on every platform you can find me on. Anything you want to look up, you can Google my name. You type in Groovy FTC or Groovy From the Chest, one word, you're going to find me.
Google me, baby.
From the chest. Tell them Groovy.
Absolutely. So I know you just sent me 2 records. You know, tell me a little bit about these records. What do they mean to you?
All right, so the first one was Lemon Squeeze that I did with my boy Skino and Dom, you know. So, all right, this is how it happened. The Lemon Squeeze I ended up coming up with because I heard a beat. I get creative with my music, like especially when I'm in tune. Mm-hmm. So, boom, I let Skino hear it. So he was like, yo, let me get a verse. I was like, let me think about it, because it was supposed to be a solo song with just me on it. But I'm like, all right, I can't come up with nothing, so I'm going to let him handle it. So he did his verse. I ended up saying like, yo, we need a female for this song. It'd sound way better. So we tried to find some females. He talking about he had somebody. Didn't even come through. Then once Dom stepped in the picture, she did what she had to do and killed it.
And I love this song because, like, I got to not, like, sit in the back seat per se, but, like, I always do, like, hooks or, like, you know, when I'm featured, it's really just a hook. I don't really get the time to do, like, a hook and a verse, but he did the hook, and I think it's amazing. I love his tone of voice. I need him to do more hooks like that, but I did just a verse. It was just so, hey, you want me on the song? Write something up real quick. It's not a lot of pressure, like, because with hooks you got to create something catchy, and he did that, you know. So I enjoyed doing that as well.
Yeah, she stayed on topic too and did what she had to do. So that Lemon Squeeze is like, that should be a banger right now, all over the country right now. Like literally the whole United States, going to Africa, Paris, China. Where, Japan?
Absolutely.
All around the world.
So without further ado, this is Lemon Squeeze here on Beam Culture on 104.3 FM. So we just debuted 2 songs. How does it feel? I know I asked Dominance this a moment ago. How does it feel to hear your vocals on the radio?
Man, I love hearing my vocals every day. I hear it on the radio even if it's not played on the radio. Like, I listen to my music every day, so I listen to myself on the radio a lot. But that song for sure,
Yeah,
I had to do my thing.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I had to do my thing. I had to, show people what I could do by myself, and I got more to come. Like, stop playing with me.
Talk that, bro.
For real. We does this. We really does this. So if y'all want to know where y'all can find them 2 songs at, you can find Lemon Squeeze on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You can find That's For Show on all platforms by MJ the God. Yeah, we got more to come,
Absolutely. Speaking of more to come, I know you brought 2 unreleased tracks.
Yes.
That you wanted to kind of like give the audience a preview.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about these songs and what they mean to you.
So Glass House, It's Not Easy. That song, I wrote it just off of so there's a term, if you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. So I said in the song, you have your faults, I have my own, your glass house, I'll cast the first stone. Like, even though we both have faults, I'm still going to call yours out type of thing. Yeah. So it came off of that. There's a quote saying, like, if it doesn't fly out of you like a rocket ship, it's not meant to be, So when I listened to the beat and I sat down, it wrote itself, so that I'm very proud of. And just being able to record at home and then also in our studio as well. It's Not Easy was done through our studio, and MJ is really good at the mixing, and like hearing them like play around with stuff like that, and I can hear that he's trying to go with like the EDM type of like effects on the sound. Like, I see him being more and more creative with it. So it's like to see what I can do with it and then hearing what somebody else can do with it and like playing around with sounds. It's just a blessing that we all get to make music together, even if we're not all on the same song. Like it's a partnership.
I always ask people this when they record their own music. What's your like DAW of choice? Like what software do you guys use?
Fruity Loops.
And why Fruity Loops? Like, what is it about Fruity Loops?
Man, FL Studios, you can make beats, bro. You can engineer and master on FL, and it's more easier than Pro Tools a little bit, especially like for making beats too. So it's way easier. So I'd rather use FL. But if I'm going to use Pro Tools, I'd rather take time with that one. But I'm going to learn it.
I love Pro Tools. I'm like a Pro Tools guy. It's my thing. But yeah, I always ask people that because it's just super cool to just talk about it. I'm an engineer, so I'm like into like the technical stuff. So. Oh
yeah, so we're gonna have to work sometime. You can teach me something new, man. I love to learn new tricks, man. No Diddy. Yeah.
But yeah, this is It's Not Easy, right here on 104.3 FM.
Tells me long time no see. Feel something when he speaks to me. Face all red, I could feel the heat. Hit it good till we go to sleep. Give me something that I know I need. Laying in his arms, I feel some peace. Feel so good to let go and release. Let a man be a man to me. It's not easy to let my guard down, but you